smell.
Time for a new one.
That's probably right.
To help the economy out, buy a new one.
Exactly. She would if they hadn't stopped making them. She doesn't want one of those Pacificas.
I liked my Stow and Go, that Chrysler Town and Country. I liked mine.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's why I have a different one.
You can hear me.
You abandoned the brand completely.
I did. Actually works better for me though, because I love tall arrangement. So that new one so tall works good.
Yep.
Hi, Emily.
Hi.
There's a couple people that are on the phone. You should mute yourself so we don't have the echo.
Something about echo.
Thank you.
Thanks, Corey. I was wondering where that was coming from.
Yeah, I had to enable view non-video participants to see who it was.
Okay, it's 7:30. Let's call the meeting to order. Let's start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. Does anybody have the next item is agenda approval? Any additions or subtractions? If not, entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the agenda as presented.
Or
We got a motion and support. Any further discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 I need to
Oh,
do a roll call
We
vote.
need a roll call. I forgot.
everything's a roll call now.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yeah.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Next item, public comment. Less visitors. Any public comment?
I do have a letter that we received asked to be read into the public comments.
Okay.
This is by Alan Jones, 572 Meadow Drive. Dear Council, I would like to congratulate the newest members of the council upon their election and their upcoming efforts to promote the welfare of our community and its citizens. I have a particular interest in the operation of our city. In the year 2003, I chaired the Caro Citizens Cityhood Committee. This committee initially included no council members because it was important for the members of our community to not appear to have any type of conflict of interest. We were able to report to the citizens that this form of government was the best interest of the community and not the current village council or the administrative staff. Much later in the process, we asked the council for a liaison to the committee to help keep the village council appraised of our progress. After 7 years of meetings, with all costs being borne by the committee members, while I do not precisely remember the dates, the citizens of Caro approved our application for cityhood in 2011. An election for our members of the charter committee was held, and the charter was written and adopted on January 3rd, 2012. I served as the vice chair of that committee. The charter is based upon a weak mayor system. The intent of this system is so the mayor has no formal authority outside the council. The mayor cannot directly appoint or remove officials and lacks veto power over council votes. The vast majority of communities in Michigan operate under this model. It is the responsibility of the city manager and his or her staff to manage the day-to-day operations of the city. The Charter Committee has had as their intent that no individual city council member has individual policy-making authority, but that the policy decisions are those of a majority of the whole. It is important for the council to always remember that your primary responsibility is not for the day-to-day operation of the city, but as policymakers and visionaries for the community and the citizens of Caro. Except for the purpose of inquiries and investigations under Section 6.8, the council members shall deal with city offices and employees who are subject to the direction and supervision of the city manager solely through the city manager. Individual council members shall not give orders to any such officer or employee, either publicly or privately. I would hope that each of you, new as well as experienced members, will take time to carefully read and have available for your meetings a copy of the city charter. Much time and effort has taken to create this document, and thus far it seemed to serve our community well. Warmest regards, Alan Jones.
Thank you, Sarah. Are there any other public comment?
I see a hand raised. Is that Mr. Charity?
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'd like to know what the status is on the Jake Break ordinance.
Okay, Matt, do you want to touch base on that? We covered that last time. We looked into it. And it's be very hard to put a Jake Break ordinance into effect, right, Matt?
Yeah, our city attorney said that it would be essentially useless to put one in place because it would be almost unenforceable.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments or questions? If not, we'll go on to the presentation, City of Caro Pension Plan, Jane Hagan, Tri-State Trust Bank.
TriStar Trust Bank. I'm Jane Hagan from TriStar Trust Bank, and I have Stephanie Anderson on with me too. And we are going to review the pension results, and I think you'll be pleased they're very good. Thank you for your time. And this is kind of weird after many years seeing you on a screen versus seeing you in person. So we hope things get better. And next time we'll get to see you in person. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie. But first, before I do that, how much time do we have, Joe?
15 minutes. Is that enough?
Okay, that's great. That's great. We'll review the economic conditions and then review the performance and then ask any questions that anybody may have. So with that, Stephanie, I think all of you received the review book in the mail. Did they receive those, Sarah?
They received it in their email. I have the hard copies ready for them when we see each other next.
Okay. Okay. So
I have
Stephanie,
the
I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I have the presentation. I can share my screen if that works.
It'd be great.
Please.
Stephanie, I just made you a co-host, so you should be able to share it now.
Okay, perfect. Can everyone see this?
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Okay, so we'll do a quick review of what's going on in the markets right now. So what this is showing is basically how the S&P performed from the beginning of the year. This is through July. So we do have August information, but I think when we sent out the books, we didn't have this updated info. But what you see is the COVID crisis is in orange. So basically the S&P 500 went from a peak to a trough. Basically, it was the sharpest, fastest equity market decline we've ever experienced. So negative 33% after just 23 days, which is pretty remarkable. But then you can see that sharp upward slope trend, what is called a V-shaped recovery that we're kind of experiencing right now. And it's even a little bit higher through August. And that's basically because, you know, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates, which helped the economy kind of stay afloat. And then we had the stimulus package that was implemented back in March, April timeframe. So all things, you know, the S&P responded positively to that. What the other lines are showing are the different economic recessions that we've experienced in the past. So when we look at the green line, that's the great financial crisis. And then the tech bubble is in blue. So in the early 2000s. And basically, you know, it took 361 days for the great financial crisis to go from a peak to a trough. And then even longer, 521 days for the tech bubble. So this situation we're in right now is just nothing that we've experienced. And this is just a good depiction of that, but we're headed in the right direction. The market's actually been pretty decent for this year. As I said, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates. So this is a picture of the yield curve. A normal yield curve is upward sloping. So that dotted line that you see back in 2013, where if you look at, you know, a 10-year treasury yield, you could yield a 3% by owning that. Today or through September and even through October, you know, it's a little bit higher, but that curve is fairly flat. You can't get much yield by holding a 10-year bond. It's a 0.69%. And because, you know, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates, they said they're going to keep interest rates low for the next 3 years. So we're probably not going to see much yield on the fixed income side for that period of time. But really, it's just because they want to, you know, they look at the unemployment numbers. They're trying to look, you know, increase the GDP number. And then also inflation. Inflation's been low for a very long time. And it's around 1.7%. And, you know, they want that to be above a 2% target. So that's what this yield curve is depicting right there. And then we've had a lot of questions about the president, the election, what was going on with this. Basically, what this is showing is all the presidential performance, S&P return, cumulative return during their time in office. So we have, you know, Democrat and Republican through time. You can see, you know, Clinton had the best S&P return, 210% during his time in office, versus George W. Bush on the opposite end of the spectrum, negative 40%. But, you know, different presidents in between had, you know, good performance, not as good performance, Democrat, Republican. So it really depends on kind of what the hand that they're dealt and kind of things out of their control. You know, George W. Bush, he had the war, Katrina, and Clinton had, you know, the tech kind of boom where he kind of rode the coattails of that. So just a good kind of overview of what we've seen in the past. But overall, what we've seen, 60-40 portfolio, so 60% equity, 40% fixed income portfolio, which is what the pension allocation is currently. Through time, this is going back to the 1800s. Every single Republican president time period we've had, every single Democrat in blue, and you can see an annualized return over those periods of time, about the same return, regardless of who's in office. So it was just interesting to see that, we might see the political noise. Obviously, we've experienced that volatility in the past month, but going forward, it shouldn't really impact return too much. Any questions on any of that? Okay.
So let's talk about your performance. And if Stephanie's pointing to this page right here, on the left-hand side, you'll see a bar graph that kind of goes like kind of kitty corner up. What that is showing, it's showing your benchmark that we compare your investments to your performance, and right on top of the benchmark, and which is a good thing, slightly above. And the blue on the right-hand side is what your balance is month by month, quarter by quarter since 2008. And the red line is your principal. So the interesting thing here is your balance at the end of September, our investment reports were printed, was 1.6 million. The gain over time has really been 1.3 million over the last 12 years. So you've made a ton in the markets to sustain the pension, which is really, really good news. This is just an incredible chart to show you, and the company has done extremely well. If you turn to the next page, Stephanie, the performance since the beginning of time, annualized, has been about 7.6% year over year after year. And so you're right at the benchmark during that entire time frame. So we're very pleased with the 60 portfolio, 60/40 allocation. It's performing nicely against the benchmark, and the pension pays get paid each month, and you've gained a ton from market performance over the last 12 years. Any questions on performance? We do question performance with the 60/40 allocation, just with 40% in bonds. If interest rates are near zero and don't anticipating the Fed raising rates until 2023, it could have a little drag on performance. I think we'll still be okay to meet all the actuarial calculations and so forth with the 6% in stocks. This just shows what's going on in the pension pays each month and so forth. This is your allocation of the 60/40 and who we're investing in, and Sarah receives the reports quarterly. This just talks about capital gains and just questions, concerns. I mean, it's doing exactly what you want it to do, it's performing nicely. And questions, concerns, anyone?
I will say I looked at the market value as of yesterday, and this is performance as of September. So since September, we've gained another 64,000 in return, which is positive. November's been a good month. So.
Very good month.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we thank you for the business. We appreciate it. Any questions, concerns, you have our information, please reach out to us. And again, if we can do anything for anybody at the council, please just reach out. We'd be happy to assist you too.
Do you feel we should stay with the same ratio and moving forward?
We do. With your fund status, I think you're probably invested. I would stay the course.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? Thank you for coming and giving us the report.
Well, thank you for having us tonight, and everybody have a happy Thanksgiving and stay safe and healthy.
You too.
Thanks, Jane.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mayor, if we could just have a motion just to approve continuing with that investment policy by TriStar.
I'll make the motion to continue with TriStar.
Support.
Got a motion and support to continue with the same investment breakdown with TriStar. Are there any questions or discussion?
They seem to be making us money, so that's the bottom line. So we got that funded.
The main thing is that we don't have to pay in anymore.
Pay in anything, right?
We're in a good spot compared to a lot of other cities where they're way upside down. They owe a lot of money to their pension fund.
Right.
Are there any other comments? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Sorry. Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yeah.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried.
Thank you.
Moving on to the consent agenda, regular council minutes of November 9th, 2020. Invoices, department report, police report, fire report, code enforcement, DPW and water report, wastewater treatment plant report, and municipal parking. Are there any questions on any of them?
I don't think I had anything on the bills for Sarah. Where are they? They gotta be here somewhere. Yeah, I guess I'll ask the question on Vortex. Why are we paying them $4,600? I thought we weren't paying them until we got back. Matt got back with us.
That was for a separate purchase we made for a backflow prevention device. through them.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the other
I remember you telling me that.
103,000 we've held back.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that backflow thing.
Yep.
Because they were worried about it backflowing into the water
Into the
system.
water. Yep.
Okay.
Randy, how is it going with these people with the trash cans and stuff? I see a lot of them are take care of it right away when you contact them. Is that?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's been going pretty good.
Lost you.
Good. It's a lot of education on everybody's part, but so far everybody's been pretty perceptive to it. No real complaints. A couple of them, because they work out of town, they feel they have to leave them out there, but they're making other arrangements with like neighbors to pull them in and out. So, yep, not too many repeat offenders yet. So I haven't written any tickets for the trash cans themselves yet.
Okay.
Our main thing right now is pallets. There's a lot of pallets we're dealing with, and then of course with vehicles with no plates, and I'm sure PD's been working on that. Since the governor relieved that, we are sending out the letters now, giving them the 30-day notice. So hopefully everybody's getting their appointments and they'll get everything taken care of within the 30 days.
Oops.
Sarah, we're gonna go back to the bills. Biotech, is that the money that we spent to haul the garbage away?
Yes.
Okay, so we're actually up to 160, well, basically 166,000
Yes.
for something that we should have spent 30,000 on.
Correct.
Is there any way this council can get a report of why we spent that kind of money?
We're working on the cause and effect of it. We don't have a 100% culprit for it. We believe there was a issue with one of the valves at the treatment plant, but we're testing all the water and when we backwash, and we're working on getting a some kind of different process in place so we're not sending so much to the sewer treatment facility.
Okay.
But we're still working on that. We have to, dot some I's, cross some T's, get some numbers, and we'll have some solutions for council to look at.
Okay.
So instead of approving it in singular amounts like we did before, now we're just approving it in the bills? Is that what I'm understanding?
It looks like
the
that
contract
way.
was approved at a few meetings ago, and this is the actual charge to the city for the service.
I remember approving $150,000 for it, but now the charge is almost 166,000. We really need to know why that is happening. We can't have that anymore.
Yes, I agree. Yep.
Well, the 150, sorry. The 150,000 was just a quote. It wasn't a hard line number. They were here a couple of days longer than they estimated.
Okay. All right. It had to get hauled away, but I realized that.
I subtracted and used all their numbers that they used on the quote and added the days, and it came out exactly what they were quoting for each line item.
Okay. And that's fine, but I think this council really needs to know why that this is happening.
Did we, Sarah, is there a way to find out if our motion was a not to exceed?
It wasn't not to exceed. I checked it before. Once I got the invoice and noticed it was higher than what was brought to you guys, I had Curtis double check it, and I brought it to the manager's attention.
Well, at this point, it's got to get paid. I mean, we had the work done, we hauled it away. My point is that this can't happen anymore. That is my point. And somebody really needs to tell this council of why this happened and where this is going. How are we going to stop this problem?
Right. Is it going to continue to happen,
Right, because
or
I can't
are
keep
we?
spending every year $166,000 to move waste. I mean, I know we got to spend money to move waste, Curtis, and I know you're trying your best, but we have to come up with some way of taking care of this problem. We can't just keep spending $166,000.
Oh, I understand, and I for the last 2 years been sending emails and text messages saying there's an issue at the arsenic plant. And that's all I can do. That's not my plant. So
right, I understand.
This is only the second time in 15 years that it's had to be hauled away like this. And the first time was when I first got here, and the arsenic, we did some modifications and it fixed it. We didn't have any issues till, like I said, the last 2 years it's been creeping up, and I notice on trend screens at the plant and ask questions and send emails and text reminders, and that's all I can do.
Are those fixes that you did when you first came here, Curtis, are they still in place? Are they still working properly, or do we have to change something?
Well, the first thing that was done, there was a modification made to the bottom of the tank. An elbow was put on and a pipe raised so the solids didn't have to get so high before they came out. I think they found it slid over to the side and not standing straight up. The other thing was when they did pump it out, they just brought it to the plant and put it on drying bed so it would be caught there and the water passed through, and it seemed to be working. So I don't know if I can't say because I wasn't there, but those measures were working for 13 years.
Okay. All right. So I guess we're really going to have to start working on this a little harder so we know what's going on. And is the arsenic still coming, Curtis? I mean, can you tell me that? Is it still high? Is it still coming to you?
I haven't caught it like I have previously. You know, you can tell when you get a shot of that stuff, it turns the water completely red. I can say since the issue's been brought up and been in the forefront, I haven't caught anything like that. Haven't caught the plant necessarily backwashing 3 days in a row where it's only normally 2 days, so
right.
Like I said, I hope I hope that they understand the gravity of the situation and are keeping a closer eye on it.
Okay. Well, I thank you for that, Curtis. I guess my point is the council needs a report, and sooner the better, so we can figure out how to solve this problem of this arsenic.
Or so we know it's been solved.
Or it's been solved, whichever.
Right.
Right.
Curtis, when you say they, who are you? When you say they, who are you referring to?
Well, the DPW, Jeff and his crew are the ones in charge of that.
Okay.
And maybe Curtis, if you would be willing, you could help, and maybe with some of your knowledge about what yous did back in the day to figure this out and stop it, maybe you could help them. Okay.
I've been trying. Like I said, when I notice an anomaly on anything, I usually send a text or call. And like I said, I can't drag them out there and make them do anything.
All right.
We are working on it, so that you will receive a report with the technical ins and outs of what's going on. It's a very complicated issue, so we can't just give you the answer you're looking for on the spot. Jeff and his guys are working on it. We're doing tests. We're sending tests to labs to make sure the water that we send the sewer treatment plant is not getting arsenic in it, and we're looking into ways to mitigate that issue. They've done some replacements on valves and processes and changed some things so that they're not sending anything to them now. Now we just have to find a way to make sure that we keep up with the trend and make sure that it doesn't happen anymore.
we did have a meeting, Matt and me and Jeff, and he said he had a line on a total reuse for like 40,000, which a one-time cost of 40,000 would be a whole lot cheaper than this ever happening again.
That will be included in a report. We're not finished with our due diligence, so we're not going to talk about solutions yet because we haven't ran it down to ground.
Damn.
Okay. Brian Newcomb, how are our officers doing?
Glad you asked. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Anthony was discharged from U of M hospital yesterday morning, which is pretty remarkable given the fact that he was on a ventilator for 4 days and unconscious, pretty much at death's door. 28-year-old guy. It's pretty scary. Tim Danks actually never developed any respiratory issues other than a cough. He had a high fever, like 105. Ryan Avery, same way. So they're kind of moving through it. I expect Tim Danks to be back to work by Wednesday, which is a blessing. Of course, we're scrambling. I don't know if any of the council members were able to make the meeting this morning with the county commissioners, but that was very informative. We had Dr. Hammond, our pathologist, talking about COVID and the current state of affairs. And it's pretty scary. And I won't get into all that. The one thing I guess I would convey to everybody, a question may be on your mind about any upcoming vaccines. According to Dr. Hammond, his feeling is that these vaccines, there's 3 companies that are coming out with those. Pfizer's one. I don't know what the other company is. They were at 95% across all age groups as far as their effectiveness. And then AstraZeneca had one this morning that they say is 90%. And Dr. Hammond was asked by the panelists and the county commissioners and anybody who had questions what he felt about the recommendation of getting those vaccines when they finally come out. And he said, absolutely, without a doubt, that will be the deal breaker in helping us fight this COVID vaccine or this COVID issue. And he says, I've got children. He says, I would highly recommend that they get it. So he says, I have a lot of confidence in that. So that's the one positive that came out of that meeting.
Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions on any of the department reports? If not, entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Motion to accept as read.
Support.
Yeah, motion and support. Any further discussion? Okay, Sarah?
Eschenbacher,
Yeah.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Holloway,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Moving on to the regular agenda. Need a motion to open the public hearing on proposed ordinance 478, Consumers Power Company gas franchise.
That's my motion, Joe.
We don't need a motion to open
We
it.
don't need a motion, we just open the public hearing.
Yep, we will need a motion to close it and when
Yes.
we do action.
Okay. Are there any public comments on the public? Is there any council discussion?
I'm thinking it's a go. I mean, we've done it right along for consumers. I see nothing wrong with this ordinance to let them be the gas company of town.
Yes, and I think they've been fairly, every year they patch their areas they tear up every year.
Yep.
Awesome. They don't have
And every time they've come, they've always cleaned up their mess. They don't make a big mess of anybody's yard. They clean it up pretty decently and they do their work that we need them to do. So my motion is to accept the ordinance number 478 for Consumers Power.
Not
478.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. I'm one ahead of you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure one ahead of you.
Are there any public comments again? Ask that again.
I do not see any.
Okay, now we entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I will close the public session.
Is there support?
Support.
We got a motion and support to close the public hearing. Okay, Sarah?
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yeah.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, now action on the proposed ordinance 478.
Right back to my motion, Sarah. I was one ahead of you. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Is there support?
Yeah.
We got motion and support to approve ordinance 478. Any further discussion?
I think consumers is just fine.
Okay, Sarah?
Jones Hollaback,
Yes. Sorry.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes. Motion carried. Number 5, Mayor Pro Tem appointment. I'd like to see Bob Eschenbach. Is there a motion for that?
I'll make the motion that Bob Eschenbacher is our mayor pro tem.
I'll support it.
We got motion and support. Any further discussion?
I just would like to know why we didn't do this last meeting as is described in our charter.
I had this part ready, but we just didn't do it.
That's why I asked us last meeting why we weren't doing it.
Mhm.
I think at the last meeting, the mayor mentioned that he wanted to do a little thinking and conversing and deciding on different liaisons for different committees and such. And I think he just wanted to take that time to make sure he got the right person in the right spot.
And also it was, nobody ever met Corey or Emily yet, so we got to know their background a little bit on their background.
Right.
2 brand new people.
But that's not what the charter says. The city charter says that it must be done at the first city meeting following the election. And we didn't do that. We didn't follow our own charter.
Correct.
And I'm just asking why we didn't follow our own charter. That was just my question, why we didn't follow our own charter. I understand that it needs to be done, and I understand that we have to have a mayor pro tem, and I understand, and I'm just fine with Bob being mayor pro tem. I'm just asking why we didn't follow our city charter and do it the last meeting.
I have no other answer for that.
Okay.
Okay, Sarah?
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yeah.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Council committee / liaison appointments. Everybody saw it in their pack. I added a couple more liaison to the townships, the fair board. I added back in there. We had one there before and one to the Tuscola County Commissioners. Being a liaison to these places does not mean you have to attend their meetings or anything, but you should pull up their minutes, review their minutes, and see if there's anything that needs to be reported to the council, or get a contact person you would the one at the townships or the boards that you talk to them now and then. Are there any other questions on any of them? Entertain a motion on the council committee and liaison appointments.
I'll make the motion to accept it as read.
I'll support it.
Yeah, motion and support. Any further discussion? Okay, Sarah?
Hotchkiss,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yep.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Next item, other board appointments, reappointments, other board reappointments. And Sarah, you said you checked with the people if they would like to stay on?
Yes, I checked with those on the DDA, Parks and Rec, and the Planning Commission, and they've all agreed to stay on for another term.
Entertain a motion.
Make the motion to accept it.
I'll support.
A motion and support. Any further discussion? Okay, Sarah?
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yeah.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, planning commission appointments. We have one applicant for the planning commission. Alvin. He was our liaison before, and if he would like to stay on, or be on the planning.
Is there one spot left, Joe?
Yes, there is.
All
There's a
right.
vacancy.
I'm going to make the motion to accept Alvin to the planning commission.
Support.
We got a motion and support. Any further discussion? Okay, Sarah?
Eschenbacher,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Number 9, signature authorization on checks. Sarah?
Yeah, so for all of our bank accounts, there are our accounts payable and our payroll checks. We require 2 signatures on those. The city manager and I are the main signatures on the payroll checks, with the backup signatures being the mayor or mayor pro tem. The mayor and I are the main signatures used on the accounts payable checks, with the backup signature being the mayor pro tem. So at this time, I'm asking that we remove Brian Rickwell on the payroll account and the accounts payable account, and add the new mayor pro tem, Bob Eschenbacher, as an authorized signature on both of those accounts.
Need a motion for that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'll make the motion to remove
Brian.
thank you, Brian Reckwald, and add Bob Eschenbacher.
Yeah, Bob. That's his name is Bob.
I'm getting old.
Can I support that motion?
You got
Yes.
motion and support. Any further discussion?
Wow.
Can I
Sorry,
support
Bob.
that
Don,
chaos?
wake up.
Any further discussion? If not, okay, Sarah?
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yeah.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Okay,
Wow, Donnie.
Sarah, take care of that with the banks. Okay, number 10, snow removal bids. Matt?
Yeah, every year the city goes out to bid for emergency snow removal, and just in case there's a snow emergency that the DPW can't get cleaned up right away. This year, there were two bids, one from Great Lakes Land Management and one from Brinkman Excavating. Great Lakes Land Management is the low bid at $280 per hour. That would be my recommendation, is to go with the low bidder. They actually were the contractor for the previous year, but the DPW never had to use them because of the mild winter. So knock on wood that we don't have to use them, but as a contingency, it's good to have somebody on call.
I'll make the motion for option one to accept Great Lakes Land Management at $280 per hour as needed.
Support.
Yeah, motion and support. Any further discussion? Okay, Sarah?
Jones Hollenbeck,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Number 11, soil borings for Caro Center water main. Matt?
Yeah, we're getting to the point now where we're going to have to start designing, and we're working out the route. We're getting our easements. One of the strategies that we've had is working in the MDOT right away. We need to do soil borings to get the soil conditions along the route that we've picked. Mike Carpenter went and got proposals from 5 different companies. I put in my listing the low bid of $3,200. Most cases, I would suggest a low bid, but Mike and I talked, and they actually did not have a good understanding of what we were asking of them. So in this particular instance, we're recommending the second lowest bid of $8,950 from Snyder and Staley Engineering. They actually understand exactly what we need, and there might actually be some opportunity to reduce that cost a little bit as we work with them on the project. So that's the recommendation that I am making in consultation with our engineer.
Where are they out of?
I want to say they're from Lapeer.
Saginaw area.
Okay.
I was just going to ask, Mike, are you here?
Yeah.
Have you ever worked with these guys before? They decent?
Yes, we have. And actually I worked with Mike Staley way back when we were both out of school. That was a long time ago, but yeah, we've all 5 companies that I requested a proposal from, we have worked with in the past, or I wouldn't have asked them for a proposal.
Okay, so you're confident that they can give us what
Yeah, and actually
wants?
He got a hold of me right away and said, you do realize that MDOT requires this, and this. And I said, yeah, that's what we're looking for. And he said, okay, just make sure your other bidders understand that. And clearly PSI did not. So PSI, I don't even think read the request. They are so far off the mark. I don't know what they were thinking. So.
And also there's a wide range from 9,000 to 20,000.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
That's what I was thinking.
The one company that's the highest, they're sort of, I expected them to be higher. If you're in a situation where you've really got bad soils and really need some help, they're kind of they're kind of, their niche. In our situation, actually I expected construction testing to be the lowest but they're at 13.7. But like I said, I had a good talk with Mike Staley at 2 different occasions and confirmed that, he's covered and he's got everything in there he needs. And that's when we actually discussed that we might be able to cut back on a few things, depending on, looking at now that we know the route a little bit better and how deep we're going to be, we can cut back on some of the depth of the borings. And then I might be able to get MDOT to back off on some of the requirements in some of the locations. So,
well, I guess I'm going to make the motion to accept option number 1 to hire Snyder and Stanley Engineering for the price of $89.50 for our boring.
I'll support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion? I got one question of Sarah. Are we keeping a separate tally of all these expenses on this water line, Sarah?
Kind of, they go all into one line for the Caro Center, and then I go through every quarter and kind of go through what's what. But yeah, they all go to one line specifically for the Caro Center.
Okay, because we have to
Yeah, 'cause
see
we
how
got a lot of money
much
sitting here already.
Yep.
because I hope we get most of this reimbursed, all these,
Right.
our attorney fees, easements and all that.
Yeah, this cost, engineering cost and attorney's cost was all in the original budget that we put together. So it shouldn't be a shock to the state that's what we, that was part of that project budget. So.
And Matt, how are we doing with the state?
The Attorney General is taking their sweet time reviewing the contract
Talking.
language. Dave Sproul is our contact at the Department of Technology Management and Budget, and he is essentially, he's got his hands tied with the Attorney General's office. They kind of work at their own pace. So we talk pretty much weekly on the progress, but once the Attorney General will take it and give it back to Dave, then we'll be able to sit down and go over the meat and potatoes of it. But they're still working on structural things with the attorneys. So
okay,
we're kind of at the mercy of the AG right now.
Well, I'm mentioning, Sarah, it's okay to keep, I don't know if you have a file with all these contracts in just for the Caro Center. So
Yes, I do have a specific Caro Center file.
Because they would be asking for them, I'm pretty sure. Okay.
I'm pretty sure, I hope they're asking for it so we get some of our money back.
No, well, that's what I mean. When we request our money, we have to send the backup date information.
Right.
Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, Sarah?
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Jones Hollabet,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Number 12, TCF Bank CD renews. Sarah sent that out this afternoon or this morning. TCF, I think, was 2.021, right, Sarah?
Yep, that's correct.
That was for 12 months, right, Sarah?
Yes. Just so everyone knows, we have over 7.2 million in certificate of deposit estimates or investments spread out amongst TCF Bank, Independent Bank, Frankenmuth Credit Union, North Star Bank, and Team One Credit Union. The selection of these institutions were set by City Council resolution, and they are included in our investment policy. Right now with TCF Bank, we have 8 CDs that are maturing, on 4 of them on 12/1 and 4 of them on 12/3. From in my memos, I kind of sent out what their rates are. They're not very good, as we can tell from the presentation earlier. The market's kind of is way down right now, given what's going on. The Fed reported that they do not intend to raise interest rates until the inflation rate comes above 2%, and they're not estimating that until 2023. I checked with the other financial institutions, and TCF Bank actually had the best rates compared to the other ones, even how small they are. I've examined our current cash needs, and it's not necessary that we pull out these CDs. So we're just left with either doing nothing and earning no interest, or investing these CDs at these rates and earning a little bit of interest. If we were to invest, say 4 of them at the 12-month rate of the 0.21%, we'll earn about a little over 4,000 on the 4 of those 4. And then if we were to invest the other 4 at the 18 months, we'll earn a little, well, I'm sorry. we'll earn a little over 2,200. So investing these CDs, in my recommendation, will earn us a little over $6,400, which is better than nothing if we pull them out.
And we don't need any money right now, Sarah. We're good going into the third quarter.
Correct.
Okay, and we do have several other CDs that will come available sometime, I believe, in June.
Yeah, they're
I think
actually
there is.
spread out. They're spread out throughout the whole year, which is kind of how I'm
Correct.
recommending doing 12 months and 18 months. We have some that are coming up at the end of December. We have another one in March, another one in August.
Correct. So we could, if we had to have, we have money if we have to.
Correct.
Okay.
And also, if you pull out a CD early, you just lose 30 days interest. So
right.
You really don't lose that much, especially at
I
these,
think we're
especially on these interest rates.
I have a question now. If TCF has the highest interest rate, is there any reason not to reinvest independent in TCF instead?
The reason, well, it's part of our investment policy to kind of split everything up.
Mhm.
No one institution can have more than 50% of our money. So that's just another way of giving every institution a little piece of the pie.
Okay. I don't think it's a substantial difference either way, but you know, if one makes more money, then
Correct. And that's something we did last year. Frankenmuth Credit Union had the best rate. And so we moved the funds from there to there. So it's something we could do if the rates were better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to take the motion to invest in TCF Bank, the way you read it there, Sarah. The 4 for 12 months and the 4 for 18.
I'll support that.
A motion of support. Any further discussion? Okay, Sarah?
Hotchkiss,
yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yeah.
Paul,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Number 13, Independence Bank CD renewal.
So again, this one is just one CD that we have with Independent Bank that's coming up right now. It was initially 250,000. So this one isn't going to earn as much interest as, we're not talking thousands of dollars by any means. I'm thinking the best way to at least get some sort of investment off of this would be to invest at the 12-month rate for 0.20%, which would earn us approximately $550 in interest.
Is that the only CD we have with Independent, Sarah, or is there more?
We have another one with Independent Bank. We have $1 million with them in another CD, but it's not up until actually next year.
Well, we're not going to make any fat money no matter what we do with it. So, I mean, we can move it, but what are we going to gain? We're really not going to gain much, just paperwork. That's all we're going to get. So I guess let's leave it there, Sarah. That's my motion to reinvest it with Independent Bank for the 12 months. It's only a year.
Right.
I mean, maybe by that time there's better things out there. Let's hope.
That's the hope.
I'll support.
Got motion and support. To maybe make a comment for the new people on board. At one time, we had basically all the money with Chemical Bank, and the theory of the investment policy was, since we have these 4 or 5 lending institutions in our city, we should spread the investments out around to all of our lending institutions.
And having worked in banking, there's rarely a time, every once in a while, one institution will jump up over the others, but for the most part, the rates are always comparable. So,
yes. Any other comments? Okay, Sarah?
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Hotchkiss,
yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Moving on to items pending and / table, DPW equipment replacement. Matt wrote up a long, got several pages.
Yeah, I that was included a couple meetings ago. I wanted to put it back in for the sake of the new council members to have a peek at it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So there's 3 pieces of information in there. One was my original memo. The second was the first follow-up to council's request for information. And then we have I guess we're at the third and hopefully final follow-up part. And Sarah sent out as a separate attachment to the email the literature for the Caterpillar backhoe, and then also in the packet should be included the quote total for the one piece of equipment that the DPW is looking at. And it has all the bells and whistles as Bob wanted us to bring back to take a look at, and that is at a cost of $116,600. It includes a warranty. It includes the extending arm and all the features.
And Matt, now to fund this, we're going to fund ourselves, right?
Yeah, so my recommendation is to do an interfund loan from the general fund to the equipment fund with a 5-year payback, and council has the opportunity to set an interest rate. I would suggest you do it at 0, so we don't end up paying more for the machine than normal. If you were to finance it through through the manufacturer or through a bank, you'd be paying interest on it. So it'd be a more expensive piece of machinery. Since the general fund is liquid, it makes sense just to purchase it cash outright and then pay ourselves back.
My question is, our equipment fund has plenty of money to pay cash out of the equipment fund right now, right, Sarah?
It does have the amount of this purchase available. Yes, it's got about 270,000 in the fund balance.
Just about. Yeah.
Oh,
My recommendation is generated from the fact that we have other pieces of equipment that are going to either need to be repaired or replaced in the near future. This is probably the largest purchase. And so I don't think it's wise to deplete half the fund balance all at once. So that's why I'm proposing to pay for it in incremental payments over 5 years, so we still have that cushion. Now, of course, we could do the same thing with other pieces of equipment. I just think that this large one makes most sense, and using the fund balance on other things in the future is just more prudent, in my opinion.
I do believe that in the real near future, we're going to have to look at a leaf truck.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one there is starting to nickel and dime us. Probably soon we'll have to look at a new snow plow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because that one is what now, 12 years old or something like that. Is Jeff in the meeting anywhere, Sarah?
Yes, I see him.
See, in my opinion, all of those other 2 pieces would be around $100,000 equipment pieces too.
Snow plow could be a little bit more.
What?
Snow plow and a dump trucks, they're not cheap anymore.
No, that'd be more, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
we
really need to kind of make sure. I'd rather let them pay it back to us over the 5 years. I mean, that we're not charging anybody any interest or anything like that. I mean, let's let them pay it back to us in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that way we do have money in case something else. I don't know about that vac truck, our sewer vac truck. That I don't know how good a shape that's in either.
That thing we just got that a few years ago.
Yeah, that's new, fairly.
Yeah, it's newer, but everything breaks, guys. It's a piece of equipment. Everything breaks, and at some point in time, we're gonna have to fix something.
Hey, this is Jeff.
Yeah, okay, Jeff.
You hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I think the vac truck, I don't think we're going to need any major repairs
shortly anyways, and temporary right now, but I know we're gonna need some repairs coming, and with the possibility of us doing something up at the arsenic plant, you know, what Matt mentioned earlier, spending some money there, but that probably come out of the water fund, not so much out of the equipment. But to address that leaf truck, definitely we need to do something with that in the near future. And that snowplow truck is a 2013, our last one. So.
Your last one's a 13.
Yep.
Brand new yet.
All right. I didn't know it was really that new. So it's only like 7 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a little older than that, but still, we probably really need to have some money just to fix that. I don't have a problem with us loaning the money and letting them pay it back to us.
Right.
I mean, that way it's paid for, it's up front, and it's all internal. We don't have to go out to get anything. But I also am going to say that it's the backhoe that I'm looking at for the 116.
I got a question on that. Did that price we get, is that through the Michigan bid system or not, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Jeff, this is what you, I mean, as far as the backhoe is concerned, this is what you specify that you want it, correct? These
Yes, it's got the
6 items.
It's got the extended hole on it. It's got a quick release bucket, so you can change buckets. It comes with a couple buckets. It's got the extended 5-year warranty on it.
There we go. And all these items, I mean, did you get the I see there's a thumb here.
Yep, thumb on there too. Yep.
Okay, so you can tear things down and pick things up with it.
Well, we got a pick ripper, they call it, I guess, frost tooth.
Yep. Okay. So this machine should be the machine for the next 30 years.
Yep.
You know, taking care of it and kept up, this machine should last us 30 years. There's no doubt about it in my mind. My question is we're going to go back to it. If we sell the old one for $5,000 or $6,000, maybe $7,000, I don't know, maybe we can get that much out of it. We basically have paid for your additions. So the machine is really only basically 100,000, right?
I think the quote was 105. It came out, and that was only with the 1-year warranty.
Right. So we're getting 4 more years. Now that warranty, is that everything, or is that just certain things, Jeff?
I think that's pretty much everything. I mean, there's some things we would probably have to pay for.
That they won't fit. Yeah. I understand that.
Yep.
But as far as workmanship of the machine itself, you know, valves, bodies, pins, I mean, that is going to be warranted.
Yeah, as long as we didn't damage them, yes.
Right. As long as
by regular normal wearing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the time frame on getting it if we approve it?
I could probably have it here maybe by the end of the week or beginning next week.
Well, it's basically something that not has to be ordered or shipped in.
No, they had one of these in stock.
Okay.
Have you seen this machine, Jeff? I'm assuming you have.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's a multiple use machine. You've got everything that you should need on this machine. We sell the old machine, we get back our money from his add-on, so we're basically just paying for the machine. If we sell the old one for something, I don't know if we can get anything. Can we get that on some place, Matt, if we buy this?
Yeah,
sell it off?
Yeah, we can put it on MML. We can try to get it on. I think MyBid has a website. There's a couple of auction sites we can throw it up on and see what we get.
Yeah.
Yep, we use public surplus too.
I can ask Kat too. There, Bob. I can ask Kat if they would see what they'd give us for it at all.
Well, yeah, that'd be an option. So I guess my motion is to buy the backhoe. What number is that backhoe?
Is there one with, is there an option on here? Matt,
No.
with all your options?
No, no, I didn't update the options. But you could just say that it's the
cat backhoe.
The cat backhoe, 420 APR backhoe loader at 116.
Yeah,
With an
that would be my motion right now.
And I'll support it.
With an interfund loan.
With an
from the general
interfund
fund.
loan.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
There you
what
go.
I was getting at. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sarah.
Also, make sure you have in the motion with the interfund loan, you'll have to have the interest rate and the
With
payback
no
time
interest,
frame.
Matt.
Okay.
With no interest.
For
Just
how
let it
long,
pay back
Bob?
The price of the machine.
For how long? 5 years,
For
Bob?
5,
Okay.
just like you said.
5-year term with 0 interest.
Because otherwise, like what we're getting is 0.02% interest on our money.
Right. Well, we're not getting any money. We're not making any money anywhere, Joe, right now.
Yeah. Is there any other?
I guess that drags me back to another thing. Has anybody paid us the loan payment from the wastewater treatment plant?
What do
Did
you
we make
mean?
a payment back to ourselves?
There is a loan from the wastewater treatment plant that they pay like $10,000
Right.
to the general fund every year. Yeah,
Right.
I usually do that transfer at the end of the year.
Oh, okay, sir. I didn't know when you were
Fourth
going to
quarter.
get to it.
And
Is
this
there
will
any
be the
other-
same thing. This will be the same thing. It'll be a transfer back and forth at one time a year.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Is there any other?
Joe, yeah. This is the first time that I've had all of the information regarding the equipment purchase in front of me, being able to see Matt's recommendations previously. Then, Jeff, if you're still there, is it still the opinion of the DPW that they want the mini excavator? Or are they content with the backhoe? I just want that clarified for my purposes.
Well, originally we were planning on hopefully keeping the backhoe and getting it fixed at about $10,000 and getting a mini excavator because we thought it was more practical for like digging hydrants and even water repairs because we don't have to shut down a whole road. When you put a backhoe out there, you're shutting down a complete road pretty much, and people have to go around. But since they want the council wanted two pieces of equipment, a piece of equipment that can do two jobs, we don't have no issues with us getting a new backhoe. We just need something to dig, and because right now we don't really have anything to dig with. So, and we didn't know there was going to be these other hidden costs of when they found metal shavings in the oils for the transmission. So, I mean, I don't know how serious the transmission is, but I had them sampling all the oil just to, to confirm how much work we were going to need into this.
All right, Jeff, I'm satisfied.
Yeah, and just for your information, Corey, that $10,000 estimate went from 10 to like over 30.
34,651. Yeah, that was initially a question, but once it was clarified that your options were from, and I looked at the date, they're from October, then that clarified that issue for me. So yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, that was the weight on the scale to say, you know what, we're just happy with anything that's new because we'll make it last for 30 years and we can start digging our own holes.
Okay, are there any other discussions or questions?
I'm good. Who supported Bob's motion?
I did.
I was just about to ask.
I
I
did.
have a motion, but no. Okay, Don.
I did.
Okay, Sarah?
Eschenbacher,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Mayor Green.
Yes, motion carried. Next item, set financial committee meeting. Sarah, at the next council meeting you're talking before?
Yes, I would recommend before the next council meeting on December 7th, either 6:45 or 7.
So that would be a committee of the whole?
No, this will just be the finance committee for the first quarter financials. I'm thinking, sorry, first quarter financials. I'm thinking the Finance Committee of the whole is going to be at that second meeting in December, when Jamie will be available to go over the
Okay.
audit.
The audit would be the second meeting in
Yes.
December then.
Yes.
What time you
I
think,
would,
7?
Whatever time Sarah wants to go, I guess.
I can, 7. Will that work for everyone?
Is that a half hour enough, Sarah?
That was my
Yes.
question. Half hour's enough?
Or we can do
Yeah.
6:45.
It's
want, Tish?
a half hour is usually enough to go over the quarterly, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
normally we got about 5-6 minutes left when we're done.
Yeah.
Right. And there's not a lot going on with the first quarter because it's just the first quarter.
Right.
Okay,
All right, 7 o'clock on the 7th.
sounds good.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
I would just like to mention that if there's going to be more than just the finance committee there of council, that we should do a committee of the whole, a finance committee of the whole. Otherwise, we'll be running into Open Meetings Act issues.
Who's gonna be there? You, Sarah, probably Joe.
Yeah.
Are you gonna attend the meeting for the 7th, or just the 3 of us? I
would plan to be there.
Okay, then yeah, we have to post it.
Yeah, I would post it as a.
Well, I always
a
post
finance
them. They're
committee
always
of the
open
whole.
meeting or
Yeah, I would post it as a financial committee meeting of the whole. In that case, if there's going to be a quorum of council there.
All right, let's make it a whole. Anybody that wants to come for the whole meeting, council is more than welcome to come and attend. Let's do it that way. That way we're covered. And
we continue doing them like that then?
Huh?
All of our committees?
Well, we're going to do it for this one. We're going to have to do it for all of them.
We never have before. That's
No, but we've also had
We
other people
haven't-
sitting in on committee meetings.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've observed at many of the committee meetings there's a quorum of council in attendance, and I think we.
But
need
they're
to
always
have-
posted regardless.
I understand
Right.
that this makes the most sense because there's also a lot of contribution from the observers.
Yeah,
Well,
but if they're posted anyway, what is it? I don't see the problem. If it's posted, that makes it an open meeting. So
Of the committee, but not of the council.
Yeah, Matt's concerned that with many members of the council attending, that it's going to be a quorum.
And that we could be actually voting on something that really wasn't there. So let's just make it a
Not just
meeting of the
voting,
whole.
it's the discussion part too.
And we'll just make it that way. If you don't want to attend, I guess you don't have to, but just in case anybody does want to attend, we're covered. So it'll be a meeting of the whole with with just the committee members doing the talking. You're more than welcome to listen in or whatever.
No, see, that's where you got me confused. If you do it as a
that's
committee
the problem.
meeting of the whole, everybody
Everybody
has,
can talk.
everybody
can talk.
then.
Yeah.
And everybody
chair.
has to vote. See,
And
then
everybody has a vote. Yep.
everybody has a vote. But if you just do it as a committee,
Then I guess then I'm not sure how we're going to do this then.
or as long as other people on the council don't vote, it's still a committee meeting. That's how I view it as.
Well, my recommendation would be that if you're not a member of the committee in that instance, that you should not be also engaging in a deliberation. Because that, in my observation, that takes place at some of these committee meetings. And even if it's posted as a committee, it's not posted as a full council meeting. So the deliberation is my concern. I'm just trying to keep everybody on the up and up. So either way is fine with me, but we have to kind of follow the guidelines. And if it's a committee meeting, it's a committee meeting. If it's a committee of the whole, then that covers everybody.
Okay.
Just a suggestion.
How about we leave it to a finance committee, and if you are not on the finance committee, please do not attend. If you do attend, please just limit your comments to
Public
anything that's
comment.
correct. Yes.
That's what I did when I attended another meeting that wasn't my committee. I only spoke during public comment.
So I guess we're just going to have to be a little bit more careful as chair people to make sure that you are in control of the meeting and that you only recognize the committee until public comment.
Okay, let's move on. That's set, and that's 7 o'clock. Committee liaison position report, Parks and Recs meeting.
That's you, Jill, ain't it?
Hello, Jill.
Hi. Oh, shoot.
Past her
We
bed.
had- Say that again?
Nothing.
I guess I wasn't prepared to give this report. The Parks and Recreation Committee met. Matt gave a wonderful presentation of some playground equipment for the dogs, which turns it into dog park equipment and not playground equipment. But we talked about that, and then we also talked about benches for the different splash pad areas, the dog park areas, and I think the committee is really excited about what's happening in the 2 different parks in the city, and I think we're just moving forward with ideas for fundraisers, for bathrooms, and just Beath Park cleanup, and just really turning the parks into something that are nice for our eyes to look at.
What did they decide on the benches, Joe?
We've got a couple of organizations that want to make donations immediately. And I think the ones that want to make the donations immediately, those are going to go ahead and happen right away. As far as the Adirondack chairs for the splash pad, and then the benches for the dog park area, what we discussed was where we are right now. We need to research it a little bit more because of the cost of shipping, and we don't want to rush into doing something where we're going to pay so much money in shipping that we're spending money unwisely, when maybe down the road just a little ways we can spend the same amount of money and get more benches and spend less on shipping. So I think by spring we'll be in a good spot to either place an order for the Adirondack chairs and the benches, or have a better idea of where we can get them at a reason, at a fair price, a responsible price, I guess is the word. What?
Okay, are there any more questions? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I can't see you anymore. Okay, mayor's report. I met the new supervisor of Indian Views Township, Bill Campbell. I talked to him a bit. We had the airport meeting. I attended, and I hope we have some people taking part in the MML training on your new elected officials. Or if anybody never took that training, it's going to be a Zoom, and it's going to be, you have several options coming up yet. I attended a state land bank meeting on the extra buildings at the Caro Center. And the way it sounds, those 3 cottages out front, the state has money, and the way it talks, those are going to be coming down. So On the prison properties, there was, because of this COVID deal, a couple of the proposals the people are holding off on. Okay, let's move on to the manager's comments. Matt?
Yeah, you have my written comments, and I do have a couple of additions to let council know about. Last week, I met with the owners of the house that's right behind the fire department at 324 Madison Street. I guess a few years ago, they said that they would let us know when they plan to sell that house. And he let me know that they're getting ready to sell the house and they're offering the city the right of first refusal. That's the house right next to the house we own that's at the corner. I don't know what council's wishes are. I just wanted to communicate that to you. If council decided to obtain that house, that would kind of complete a whole square
Block.
of a municipal block there. So that's something for council to chew on. The library notified me today that they received a grant from the Tuscola County Community Foundation for their story walk. In their story walk, the permanent story walk, they propose to put both at the library and in Beath Park. So the library director and I will be presenting that to the Park and Rec Commission and then finally to the City Council at a later date for some planning purposes to find out where we'd like to put those. I sent an email out, I don't know, a few months ago when they applied for it. They asked for the city to partner with them to help install those. So I provided them with some information on what it would cost to do that as an in-kind service. So that partnership is in full motion. So we'll be bringing back some more information on that. And that's it. That's it. Any questions?
I got a question. Have we took any action on collecting our money from our past rent on the house we have? Have we turned that over to the attorney?
We're going to very soon, yes. Now that the moratorium on evictions and stuff is over, I don't think there's anybody living there, but we are going to work with Gary Cruz to do some court action.
Did the people that you met with, did they give you a price on the house?
They didn't give me a price, but the taxable value is like 29,000. So generally the market value is about double that. So
right.
You'd think about between $60,000 to $80,000 for the value of the property. But they didn't say, hey, we'd like this much, but I just learned that from looking it up on the GIS.
Gotcha.
Now, is that just something that we want to put in our back pocket for future use, that we have this available property?
Well, if they're looking to sell, they're probably looking to sell right now. They don't want to sit on it, right, Matt?
I'm just saying, why are we purchasing these
Finish out our
houses?
parking lot on the back side of the police station. We own the house.
We already own the
there now,
one.
Troy.
I understand. I'm saying, what are we doing with them?
We're gonna
tear them down, put in a parking lot.
Okay.
It's probably gonna get torn down and make a parking lot, so we have more parking for people like
Meetings.
for elections, because I heard a lot of that there was no place to park.
Yep, meetings and elections.
So,
Yep.
Matt, is this something we need to move forward on? Maybe like get Evan or something and give us an evaluation of what it's worth and then go from there? Or?
If that's your pleasure, I can set that up and communicate with the owners that we can evaluate it. That's what council wants to do.
And
what's the rest of your guys' thoughts? I mean, I'm thinking we should.
Do we have Mike's carpenter's plans on that parking lot? How many spaces we're going to be having if we do that yet or not? Somehow, I know he was working on some. How many parking? If we tear the one house down, how many parking spaces are we going to end up there?
We're not going to get a lot there.
No, I'll let Mike answer. He's still on. I haven't seen any plans for that phase 2 parking lot.
You there, Mike?
We haven't done anything with that yet, other than at one point in time, I took a kind of a quick look at it to see And to get a row of parking along the street, aisleway in the middle, and a row of parking, the lot is pretty narrow. Unfortunately, if we could get a third of that house that we're talking about, that would make that parking lot much more desirable, get the parking away from the street a little bit more, have an opportunity to at least have a little bit of a green belt and whatnot. So, whether it's worth what the house is worth, I'm not sure, but it would be my recommendation to try to buy that house and because the lot that you have now it's going to be fairly tight. But no, we haven't done anything with it yet.
What's your best guess on it? Parking spots? Not going to hold you to it, just a guesstimate.
Can I answer that in another minute or two?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we should move forward with it.
I do too. I think that area is in pretty close proximity to the new farmers market. And I think parking is going to be huge for that. And I think if we can get that extra parking, I think we need it.
Oh, but if you just stop and think with our brand new police station there, we're going to have 2 or 3 more employees parking there.
Right.
Plus we have our cop cars are going to be parked there too. So we're going to be taking up 5-6 spots automatically as soon as that opens up.
I'm guesstimating that lot where the house is right now, we're only going to get 6 to 8 parking spots out of there. That's just my guess, but Mike's going to let us know in a minute.
Yes, but we have to look at the new people who are having the park there already,
Right.
The biggest problem with that lot is the width of it.
Exactly.
So, according to Google Earth, it is only 60 feet and change from sidewalk to property line. And to do a 2-way driveway down the middle at a normal 24-foot wide and 20-foot parking spaces on both sides, you're over 60 feet wide. So now we're talking about doing angled parking, maybe one way in, one way out. So, we can get double row parking in there, but it's not going to be what you're used to seeing. It's going to have to be scrunched up narrow. The good news is the lot is fairly long. I mean, you've got, 40 feet or so. So, I mean, you should be able to get 24 parking spots or so. But again,
I didn't realize it was that deep.
With just that, wait a minute, I gotta have a way to get out. I don't, there's details to work out. I think that's basically from, sidewalk to the parking lot or the driveway in front of the fire hall. But, if I had another 20 feet in width, you could really make a nice parking lot just with that 20 feet. So if we had that entire next lot, then, we would maybe have other options of turning the parking the other way, or, I'm not sure. So, but if you bought both lots, or if you bought, that lot that's available, now we're 130 feet wide instead of only 60 some. It's probably 66 feet is what it is. So that gives us a square to work with instead of a long skinny rectangle.
I feel Matt should look into it and bring us back more information on it.
I agree.
Okay, Matt.
At least find out what they're looking at price wise. Get us some more information to work with.
If their number is the sky,
Right. If they're seeing us as, oh, the city has big money, we can charge whatever we want.
Well,
then
we got to tell them, look, you're going to save on real estate fees. You're going to save on brokerage fees.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Matt?
No.
Okay, Sarah?
We received the completion checklist from the Tuscola County Board of Canvassers, and I was very happy to see that they were excellent marks all around by the inspectors. Some more highlights from my report. We put out an an ad for janitorial services. Our current cleaners have said they can no longer continue servicing the city. So we'll be accepting letters until December 11th. There will be a ZBA meeting next Tuesday on December 1st. That's at 6 p.m. There was a request for 2 setback variances to add a communications tower on Park Drive. We've set up the front girls to work remotely. I used the laptops from the election that we hopefully won't be needing for 2 years to set them up with it. So there's been no cost for them working remotely. They're coming into the office when necessary to do certain things. We have it set up on our phones so that when you call the office, it goes directly to our phone lines. When we call out from our phones, it looks like we're coming directly from the office. So far, those last few days, last weeks, we didn't have any trouble with that. And then just a reminder, our offices will be closed on Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving. And I hope you all have a safe and happy holiday.
You too.
When is garbage pickup this week? On Friday? Friday?
Yep, it'll be on Friday, and that'll also be the last day for yard waste too.
Okay.
I'm calling you on Friday, Sarah.
I'm sure we'll get lots of calls.
As long as we don't have snow, people are still putting their leaves and stuff out and everything. Are there any other questions for Sarah? Okay, let's move on to additional public comments. See any hands, Sarah?
I do not see any hands. Oh.
Don, do you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Tisha? Anything else?
Not at this time.
Corey?
I just wanted to confirm the date for the next city council meeting.
It'll be
It's,
on Monday, December 7th at 7:30.
I thought so. Just making sure. Cool. I'm good.
Yep, this was a weird month, but after we're now going to be on normal schedule.
Okay.
Emily? Have any other questions, comments?
No.
Bob?
Roadhouse. How much money are we
Joe?
gonna put into this place? What are we doing with this place? When are they gonna take over and start paying the bills?
We have one last thing to fix for them, and it's the banister on the stairway. And they're gonna do something with it and then provide it to us. So we're just waiting for that, and then we can get them in a room and talk to them about transferring it over.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Splash pad.
Yeah, we don't want to pay the heat bills through the winter.
Right.
Exactly. Well, I'm looking for the splash pad now. Did we get any headway out of Artex on that concrete?
Yeah, they did some work on it. In fact, I was going to ask you guys to stop by and take a look and let me know what you think.
What'd they do?
They essentially ground down all the high spots and tried to blend everything together. There's no lips. There's nothing to catch your feet on anymore. The only problem is that it's still a little bit discolored from, doing the concrete in 2 separate instances instead of doing it all at once like they were supposed to.
Can we make them paint it?
Well, we can have them put a white sealer on it, but they're cautioning us that the sealer will only last for about 2 years and then it'll start peeling.
Right.
So
when did they do this, Matt?
They did it last week. They got it finished last week.
I'm sure it looks like shit. I mean, like crap. Well, when you grind it and start patching and stuff, I mean, it's not going to be pretty.
It's better than
the reason I brought it up.
Yeah.
The only reason I brought it up is I was there and looked at it, and it doesn't look like they did real great job at anything. I mean, I can take you to a couple spots that I think need some attention. So, I mean, I don't know if somebody wants to meet me there or whatever, and we can look at this. It really needs some attention. My problem with it is that they should have rejected the load of concrete that was sitting in the trench.
Yep.
And not poured it because it was full of chloride.
Yes.
And it hadn't mixed in over an hour.
Well, I'm sure what they did pour was starting to harden up too.
Well, yeah, because it hadn't mixed in over an hour, Don. It sat in the truck until I got the payloader and went and pulled the concrete truck out because it was caught in the trench.
And it seemed like they've added a lot of water because there were a lot of.
Yes, they did, and you can tell it's a lot of water because just the way the top of it is and the way they broomed it.
You know what's going to happen now with a bunch of water added? It's going to start popping. Yeah,
Right.
not this, but next year.
Right.
That's what they said. Oh, that's when he was there. He said, "Oh, that's the cream. You don't have that much cream
there. It's
anybody
water.
that knows anything about concrete. If they added a bunch of water, it's going to pop. In a year or two, it's going to look like hell.
Well, first of all, they dumped a whole load of unmixed, basically chloride concrete, and it added about 40 gallons of water to it. When I was there trying to pour it out, they dumped it into the payloader bucket, took it over there, and started slopping it out there. Well, it looked like water when it was being dumped. Okay, so then I pulled the concrete truck. That the load should have been rejected, and we shouldn't even had that load of concrete.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So what is our practical?
No big deal. But my point is that they still haven't, to me, they haven't satisfied my objections of what is acceptable. I mean, I've got globs of concrete along the edge that they just pulled the broom and they stopped it there. They never ground those off. I mean, I was there. What day were we there? Saturday? I was there on Saturday. I mean, they really need to come back and talk to you again, Matt. Seriously.
I'm going to go
They
look
were
at
talking. They were talking. They were going to have some some borings done, some testing too, Matt.
They said they were. I didn't see any boring sites, so I'm gonna have to get with them to make sure that they do it.
But then the problem is we're asking them to to inspect their own work, basically.
Right.
Right.
No, it would be a concrete company or a boring company that would do some borings.
I mean, you know, we've got 300.
We still have some work. They did some work.
Okay, they really need to talk to you, Matt. Seriously. I mean.
So what can they do that will make us happy?
Well, right now, probably not much, Jill, but they could come and grind. At least we need to go out there. Maybe I just need to come out here and Don or whoever wants to go out there and start pointing to what we want.
Name the time and date.
Well,
my concern,
Bob.
My concern is they can grind at it all they want. If you're saying that it's going to have issues in a couple of years, then why are they're slapping makeup on a pig?
The reason is because we can't just jackhammer it out now and get better concrete because now we got all this piping in there. And it's all wired. So now we're going to have to saw cut it, dig it all out, repipe it. So now we got splices. The one half of it looks beautiful. The half that they first poured before the truck was stuck, it looks nice. I'll give them that.
You know,
but the half that where the truck was stuck, I'm going to tell you, it looks like crap.
And this is stupid. It's all over a load of concrete. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? What?
Right.
$800 in concrete. So now we got a big old problem.
Right. And so now we got a $300,000 splash pad. Half looks really nice. The other half looks like crapola. Now they're going to have to grind it to get the slag all off of it and the mud all off of it. And now what? We're going to have grind marks, just like when we grind our sidewalks. That's what it's going to look like, folks. I don't know how to cure
You're
it.
saying half of it looks like this?
Oh, yeah.
Can it be painted?
Oh, you got
I mean, I know it's going to flake.
No, but then if you
half of this thing looks like that, and we're okay with this?
No.
No.
Matt's not okay with it. I
No.
understand Matt. He's trying to work with them.
No.
But obviously, I don't know if Matt's if they're willing to work with Matt. That's the problem.
Well, the options are limited. You know, they can put a white sealer on it to blend everything. It'll look the same, but then it's going to flake in 2 years.
But then it peels in 2 years.
They can put a clear sealer on it. That's not going to help us. You could potentially paint it. I don't know how long that'll last.
A couple
years.
Yeah.
What? You around tomorrow, Donnie?
Oh, you name the time.
Is anybody available? Like, I don't get out of work until after like 3:30.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm fine at 3:30. Or how about 4 o'clock? Just let you get home.
Okay.
I'm fine at 4.
Okay.
You want to go down there and the three of us? Anybody else wants to come down?
Shoot.
Yeah.
I would
4
be
o'clock
gone.
tomorrow?
Sarah,
4 o'clock
4
tomorrow.
o'clock.
Yes.
if we do this, then we have to post it, don't we? Because it's a quorum of us going out there.
Yeah, I would suggest maybe 3 of you go and then 3 of you go at another day or something to that effect.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fine by me. Who?
Or 3 tomorrow morning, 3 in the afternoon.
Talking
I go
about
in
it
the
now,
morning.
so it won't be a chance meeting.
All right. Who wants to go in the morning?
I do.
I do.
I
All right,
do.
why don't you 3 go in the morning?
Okay.
And I'll
Who,
meet
me,
Tish
Jill,
and Jill.
Joe.
Yes. What
Okay.
time? 9, 10?
9:30?
9:30
Nine-
works.
Okay,
9:30?
9:30.
Joe.
I'll meet you, Tish.
Joe, wait. Joe, you bring the donuts. Joe, you bring the coffee. Okay.
All right, you
Wow.
got it.
Okay, so.
What are you bringing?
Me.
Nothing. It's hunger.
Hey, no,
His appetite.
Don is bringing bacon.
Oh, bacon.
Bob, who's coming with us?
I don't care.
I will.
You want to come, Emily?
Okay,
That's
Emily,
fine.
you're
wanted to
coming?
go.
Okay.
I just
So
go on
there's
my
3
own.
of us there.
Just what time? 4
4
with you?
o'clock.
4, yeah.
4
Okay.
o'clock, yep. And
Okay.
then I guess after we all look, we'll all know what the problem is, and then we can all talk with each other.
And
about
I would advise everybody to call a concrete contractor and say, hey, if the concrete was watered down quite bad and it was a cold load, what's going to happen to it in the future? They're going to tell you it's going to pop.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know
Well,
it's gonna
that
happen.
that has been my principal concern through this discussion. So if we make corrections to it now, we paint it or we
It's
grind
still
it or
going to
what,
pop.
and so are we going to hold them accountable to that in the future, or are we going to have a problem on our hands in 2 years?
That's our issue, really.
That's
Right.
why we're going tomorrow to look at it. Right.
Well, it sounds to me
Yes.
like the only solution is to saw cut it and take it out of there and
I'll cut it.
and replace it.
You
They're
can't.
not gonna. I don't think they will.
How could you, Don? You got all that vortex tubing underneath there.
Right,
Or and on that wire mesh,
right.
It's wired mesh together, and it's all
If
vortex
they-
tubing.
If they should have never poured it in the
No.
first place,
No.
Not a
that's
cold
their
load.
problem.
Yeah, but we're gonna at the end though, Tish. The problem with it is if they saw cut and do it, we're gonna end up with a seam in it, which is gonna heave eventually, and it's gonna
Right.
look like shit. And we're having every last one of those tubes will be spliced together.
Yep. And then
Or
they're
you-
asking for leaks.
or even if you grind or get a big grinder in there and grind off it, then you
It's
have
gonna
a
be smooth there, and you're gonna see
and
gravel.
smooth, and everybody will be slipping and sliding. It won't be
So
safe.
I guess let's leave this conversation alone right now and let
Until we look
everybody
at
go
it.
look for themselves, make their own opinions, and we'll come back at the next meeting and we'll talk about this, what we're gonna do.
Yes.
Is that all right, Matt? Is that satisfactory?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the meantime, I can work on trying.
And
to
you
figure
can
out
try
what
to
they're
work
gonna
on
do
them
for
to
us.
see what they think they should do.
And Matt, maybe get our sidewalk guy over there and we have, and Dale Rick or we have these other 2 cement people in town right now. So
Right.
have them take a look at that job and give us their opinions.
Yeah.
And Matt, if you're going over there, can I go with you since everybody else buddied up without me?
Yeah. Yeah. When are you?
You know-
well, just send me an email afterwards and we can schedule something.
This happened equivalent at my mom's when she built her new house, poured basement walls, the second cement truck got stuck. It was stuck for an hour and a half, 2 hours. They did a cold pour. Until this day, that seam leaks every time it rains because it was a cold pour.
Let's go look, and then we can form our opinions, and then we'll talk.
Try and get some
Yeah.
other experts too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, maybe I could go get Dale Rick to come down and look at it.
I was just going to suggest that.
I'm
Get
gonna
his
trust
thought.
him. I could get him to come look at it. I mean, they poured a lot of flat
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
I'll
And
get somebody to come look with us and see what
Remus is in town now too, so, or our sidewalk guy's in
our
town
sidewalk
too.
guy might be able to come look at it with us for us. Yes.
That's a good idea. Get a couple of those guys to give us their honest opinion of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that way they can't just say we're picking on them and
Right.
we don't know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
we'll have information and we'll have documentation that we do know what we're talking about.
Right.
Yes.
But I don't think we owe them $300,000 anymore if they're not gonna.
Well, the bad thing is, Bob, it ain't even about money. We don't want to shit. I mean,
Right. I don't want a shithole
splash
all the
pad
time.
a year from now
Right.
or 2 years from now
Or whenever
Yeah.
it goes.
or 6
So,
months.
let's all take a look and we'll.
We will move forward.
Oh.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Happen.
Is that it, Bob?
That's all I got, Joe.
Okay,
Sorry.
Jill?
Okay.
Jill, do you?
Hold on. I just looked at my schedule wrong.
What you got?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I thought I opened tomorrow. I don't. I have mid shift tomorrow.
So when can you go?
I can go in the morning if we can do a later time than the earlier morning people, or a earlier time than the mid morning people, or.
Well,
What time
I've
can you
already
go?
seen it. I was only going just to show you what I had seen.
Sorry. Well, we have to split it up anyway because
Right.
we can
So
only
do you and Emily want to go? Emily, will you go with Tish in the morning?
Yeah. Well, what time?
I work at 11, so whenever I get up at like 6:30 or 7 though, so I
Well,
can.
Corey wanted to go, so.
I can't tomorrow morning though.
Oh, okay.
I'm working.
Okay.
Can you go in the afternoon then?
Yes.
Yeah, Corey can go in the afternoon.
Okay, so we'll go at 4 o'clock, Corey.
Okay.
Okay.
And you'll go with Emily in the morning when you guys pick a time.
Okay. Emily, I'll text you later.
Now, when you walk up to it, ladies, I'm going to kind of explain to you what I'm seeing, okay? So you guys can look, so you know. Okay, when you walk up to it down the dirt path where they dug in the water line net,
Yeah.
first step right up there onto that concrete right there. Start looking at the texture of it because it's all bumpy and rough. And then go to the far side of it towards the pavilion.
Yeah.
And then look at that concrete.
Okay.
That
Gotcha.
concrete looks good compared to the other concrete that was where you're going to step up on.
Okay.
So kind of look at that area right around in that very first circle.
Mhm.
That's where you're going to see the bad spots. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe we
Any
needed
other
a motion to adjourn. I think we needed a motion to adjourn this meeting, right?
Yes, we do.
I'll
make that motion.
I'll second his motion.
Okay, then. All in favor?
Oh, yeah.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Paul,
Yep.
Jones Hollaback,
Yes.
Rick Wall, oh, not Rick Wall.
Whoa.
Wow. Going a little far back there.
Right. All right, White,
Yes.
Botchke,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eschenbacher,
Oh, yeah.
Mayor Green.
Yes. Sarah, what time are you going to be in tomorrow morning?
Yes, I was just about to ask you when, what time is good for you? You want to do before your 9:30 meeting or after?
Yeah, probably before 8:30.
8:30 works.
Okay. Everybody have a happy
Sarah, you gonna be
Thanksgiving
around so I
and
can
play
come
it
sign
safe.
for you?
Happy
You guys
Thanksgiving.
Good Thanksgiving, everybody.
What was that?
Are you going to be around so I can come and sign for you?
Yes. I'll
When
need to
you-
get that paperwork ready though, so I'll call you
Okay.
when I'm ready
But when
for
you
it.
get it done, call, okay?
The
Yep.
bank has to get the.
Right.
produce
Whenever
the
she gets it
paperwork,
around,
right?
just
All
call
right.
and I'll
Have a
come
good
down.
Thanksgiving, guys.
Sounds
You
Yeah,
good.
you guys too.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
night.